Hello and welcome to episode 36 of IOnTheTigers, a podcast all about the National Ice Hockey League, but one that always has an eye on the Telford Tigers. Couple of re-signings to kick off with this week. First re-signing is Sean Morris, who has re-signed with the Bristol Pitbulls for 2 more years. Also signing for 2 more years is Declan Barmer up at the Hull Seahawks. So, Hull Seahawks, they've announced a few now, so their team for next season is starting to take shape. If I can remember correctly, it's the second for the Pitbulls as well, so again, they're starting to put some pieces into place. And I think what I'm finding interesting and arguably good is we're seeing player extensions announced, contract extensions announced, but it's not just for one season, it's for a couple. So, interesting there that the teams are perhaps looking to get a bit more security in place. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see who else gets announced and is re-signed in the upcoming weeks as well. Moving on, we'll start off with the results, and the action kicked off on Thursday night, if I can remember correctly, with the Leeds Knights hosting the Hull Seahawks. And the Knights recorded a 3-1 victory. So victory again for the Knights. Moving on to Saturday, we'll start off with the Wildcats hosting the Tigers. An early lead for the Tigers. Gosh, what am I saying? Yeah, early lead for the Tigers. Wildcats took the lead. Tigers were able to stay kind of in touching distance for majority of the game, I think, but Wildcats had enough and ran out 5-4 winners. Ran them close. Tom said, bit disappointing, but, still in it there for the playoffs, and yeah, kind of agree. Was a bit disappointing, but I think that's a good sign. I mean, go to a team like Swindon and be disappointed with a 5-4 loss. Yeah, I kind of view that as a positive thing. If we go to Swindon and we lose 5-4, it's like, oh, well, yeah, kind of expected it. That would be perhaps a bit more concerning than, yeah, do you know what? A bit disappointed. So, yeah, plenty to build upon there. In terms of other results from Saturday night, the Sharks hosted the Raiders, and the Raiders ran out 5-3 winners up at Solway, so that's a really impressive result there for the Raiders, I would say. Lightning hosted the Seahawks, and the Lightning won 5-2. So a tough couple of games there for the Seahawks, having to travel to the Knights on Thursday and Lightning on Saturday. Steel Dogs hosted the Phantoms. Phantoms won that one 5-2. And Pitbulls hosted the Knights. Leeds won, and that was an 8-0 shutout win for the Leeds, travelling to Bristol. On to Sunday. The Tigers hosted the Lightning. Lightning had a 2-goal lead. Tigers pulled it back to 2-1 with a couple of minutes to go. Then made it 2-2. And then with 14 seconds left, Tigers took a 3-2 lead. And yeah, they were able to hold on to that. An amazing result. That for me, that kind of goes down almost as bonus points to a certain extent. That's a game that, realistically, probably weren't actually expecting to get anything out of. But we have. Absolutely fantastic result, a really important result as well. I think it just gives a bit more of a gap over the teams just behind in terms of the playoffs. So, yeah, absolutely amazing result. Other games from the weekend, from Sunday, sorry. So, Bees hosted the Wildcats, and the Wildcats won 2-0. Great result for the Tigers. Seahawks hosted the Sharks. Seahawks won 5-4. Great result for the Tigers. Knights hosted the Raiders. Knights won 5-2. Great result for the Tigers. And Phantoms hosted the Pitbulls. Phantoms won 4-3. Realistically, Tigers got no chance of catching the Phantoms. Certainly not like I see. Not in any danger of the Pitbulls pipping us to a playoff space. So, yeah, again, that one, yeah. So, I mean, as far as results went on Sunday evening, they couldn't have gone any better for the Tigers. A win, and then the 3 teams who are in the mix for the 3 playoff spots, 6th through to 8th. You'd say there were 4 teams in the mix: Tigers, Bees, Sharks, Raiders. Tigers won, the other 3 lost. Couldn't ask for a better night. Really couldn't have. It gives a 6-point cushion over the Sharks, who are currently in ninth. It started to look more and more positive. I know I called it perhaps a little early, a few weeks ago, when there was a 10-point gap, and then it got closed up and closed up. But yeah, it's looking better. I think 6 points with the amount of games left is a really good place to be in. Next weekend could be really big, and we'll get on to that. But before we do get on to the predictions for next weekend, Tigers 2 were in the Cup final playing the Sting. First leg was Saturday night at Telford. That finished Tigers 2 3, Sting 5. So a 2-goal lead for the Sting going into the second leg. Tigers raced out of the blocks, got some early goals, but the Sting were able to pull it back, and it finished 4-2. So, giving an aggregate score of 7-7. It went into overtime, and there was a winning goal, and it was for Tigers 2. So, first bit of silverware is on the mantelpiece at Tigers. Tigers 2 winning the North 2 Cup. Great result. Well done to Tigers 2. Any of the team, any of the players, staff, anybody associated with Tigers 2, they want to come on here and talk us through it, very welcome. Please just drop me a message. I'm more than happy to have you on. So, predictions for Sunday. Not for Sunday, for the upcoming weekend. The action kicks off Friday night with the Phantoms hosting the Lightning. I genuinely don't know on this one. Phantoms have had some funny results. Lightning have had some funny results. Anything could happen. I'm going to go for Lightning win, just because, there's a bit of a rivalry between the two, and get the feeling that, Lightning are really going to turn up for that one, particularly having lost to the Tigers. So, I'll go for a Lightning win, but anything can happen, I guess. Saturday night, Lightning host the Tigers. I'm sure the Lightning will be looking for quick revenge and on home ice. I'll go for the Lightning to win it. Go on, Tigers, prove me wrong again. Go on, please. Lightning to win that one. Seahawks host the Raiders. That's a tough one. I'm going to go for the Seahawks to win it, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders pinch a point in doing so. Even winning it, I like to see the Raiders doing. They've really kicked into some decent form over the past few weeks, but no, I'll go for the Seahawks to win that one. Wildcats host the Bees. Wildcats to win that one. Sharks host the Knights. I can't see the Sharks beating Leeds again, so I'll go for the Knights to win that one. And Pitbulls host the Steel Dogs. I think the Steel Dogs are going to have too much and will record a win at Bristol. On to Sunday evening. Tigers host the Steel Dogs. I'm going to go for Tigers to win that one, hopefully relatively comfortably. Please don't leave it until the last 14 seconds. If you do, don't get me wrong, it's great, it's fantastic, but ideally, that one hopefully will be well clear and in the lead by the last 14 seconds. Raiders host the Sharks. I'll go for the Raiders to win that one. Bees host the Pitbulls. The Bees will win that one. Knights host the Wildcats. Knights to shade it. Well, Knights are either going to shade it or I can see them demolishing the Wildcats. I kind of don't feel there's going to be an in-between on that one. And then Phantoms host the Seahawks. So I will go for a Phantoms win on that one. It's going to be close. We'll say overtime to separate them. In terms of result from the last weekend, I'm going to have to go for the Tigers. To score 2 goals in the last couple of minutes against a team who are second in the league, it's result of the weekend for me. There's probably a bit of bias and favouritism in there, say what you will, but, genuinely, I think it was the best result of the weekend. In terms of games of the upcoming weekend, that Raiders-Sharks game, if Raiders win that and Tigers beat the Steel Dogs, it starts to look a real long way back for the Sharks. Conversely, if the Sharks win that keeps them very much in that playoff mix, I think. So, that's my predictions for the upcoming weekend. As always, feel free, get in contact, leave me a comment, let me know your thoughts. I'll be back next week. Bye for now.